I have a main on RuneScape, but it stinks. So I sold my bank to buy full crystal and locked myself to Bandos for 24 hours straight. The goal is to make as much money as possible, spending 24 hours at every God Wars boss, starting with Bandos, to eventually get enough gear to try Nex as the final challenge. This is the setup I could afford, and this is the inventory. If anything, I strongly recommend both 92 magic for Blood Barrage and the code I want. Without them, killing the minions between boss kills will be extremely hectic, and you won't have much time for juggling supplies, etc. This is our next wish list. We want as many items from this list as possible before heading into Nex, with the top items being the highest priority. On these trips I will be using what I think is called the 4-0 method, because it's the one I've practiced beforehand. Now, do I recommend this strategy? God no. Please just learn the 9-0 method with the cannon base. While the 4-0 is easy to learn, it has so many opportunities to mess up from just straight up RNG, the main one being the boss spawning in a different location. Nice. And you also take more damage from the melee ad. We're gonna be looking for 3 items from Grador. The Bandos chestplate and Bandos tassets, each with a 1 in 381 chance from Grador or a 1 in 16,000 from the goblins. The chestplate is around 30 mil and the tassets around 22. It actually used to be flipped, with the tassets being worth more because the chestplate is only a defensive upgrade over the fighter torso, with the tassets having no competition. But this flipped when Nex got introduced, since Torva requires Bandos components to create, and the chestplate gives 3 while the tassets only give 2. We're also looking for the Bandos hilt, which at one point in 2021 was only worth 5 mil, but is now up at a respectable 18 million, making it a much more valued drop. This is by far the luckiest I've been on any grind from what I can remember. About 1 hour in, I hit the rarest drop on the entire table. The Dragon Spear. Sitting at a 1 in 5,628, it's more rare than the pet itself, which is a 1 in 5,000. Of course, it's way better money than the pet, being worth 37,000. It was a good thing I settled on making it 24 hours, because it wasn't until 8 hours in when I got my first unique. Ooh, Bandos boots. Yeah, that's the worst one, huh? Getting Bandos boots puts my gold per hour at like a negative 200,000. The supplies are quite expensive here. Divine Bastion potions run 30k a pop, and each cast of Blood Barrage costs like 2,000. The costs are somewhat offset by the normal drops though. I tried to pick up all coins and anything noted. The wiki puts Bandos at 3.5 mil GP an hour. This assumes that you get 20 kills in that hour. Because I have full uptime on the boss outside of eating food, which is very rare, the amount of kills I can get per hour lies not in optimizing my DPS on Grador, but how I spend my time in between spawns. When in the room killing Grador, I would get about 20 to 25 kills per hour. I only brought Bastion potions for a total of 2 hours, so unless I had a supply drop, that's the longest I could stay. If I kept this pace up, it would mean ending on around 500 kills total. A whole 7 hours after the Bandos boots drop, things were looking up. Oh! After 280 kills and 15 hours 37 minutes on the final kill of that trip, I get my first drop worth anything, the Bandos hilt. Imagine I did all this without getting a singular drop, would have made a great video, huh? But the hilt finally puts me in the green, putting me at somewhere around 1 mil per hour profit so far. My goal is to spend as much time as my divine potions allow in this room. The more time we spend on each trip, the less downtime we have, which gives us more kills per hour. And there is a lot we can do to optimize. For starters, we're bringing only 1 stamina pot. Run energy shouldn't really be an issue if you know how to properly conserve it. Make sure to walk at the end of each cycle. It saves your run energy, but you also get a nice tick counter to your next attack. Then you also want to make sure you're walking when you're finishing off the goblins. If you're careful with run energy, the only point you will need stamina doses is when a Grador kill takes way longer than average. To save health, it's super important to flick the goblins after a kill is over. If they are synced up, you just desync them by walking under them, then start flicking. Using Blood Barrage heals you about 80 health total, so you really don't want to take more damage than that every kill. Food should be saved for emergencies only, but running it a little low is no problem, because some health can always be restored with bones to peaches. As for prayer, 1 tick flicking when possible and disabling prayers between minion attacks will save you a little bit, but not a large amount. You can also use the altar every 10 minutes for a full restore, so I try to make sure that I get my prayer as low as possible before that happens. All in all, your prayer is mostly in the hands of the 1 in 16 drop chance for 3 full super restores. Now there are 4 total drops at a drop rate of around 1 in 5,000. The Dragon Spear, which we already have, the pet of course, a curved bone, and the ever so elusive 5 rune javelin drop. Getting one of these to drop is extremely low odds at 350 kills, but 2, that would be crazy. Rune javelin, what's the drop rate on that? Yeah, it's 1 in 5,002. So that's 2 pet drops, right? That weren't pets. At the 19-hour mark, I was on drop rate for each Bandos item at around 380 kills so far, but I had my hopes high. It was time to pull out the big guns. I didn't want to do this, but the Sea Shanty 2 is coming out for these last 2 kills, or 1 kill. Sitting up straight for this one. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's some big hits. That's my fastest kill yet! And the drop! And the drop! Oh my god! What? I'm only 74 prayer, so I eventually swapped my inventory to only allow for a maximum of 2-hour trips, but to include a bit more backup super restores in case I was unlucky with drops. If my inventory is getting too full during trips, it's also very important to juggle items, as this essentially gives you extra inventory slots. Now, why 24-hour? What's the point? Well, life is about setting small, manageable goals that you can accomplish within a reasonable amount of time, and I suck at that. So I need to turn everything into a stupid challenge to accomplish anything. We were now hitting the later hours. And to keep efficiency up without damaging my health and well-being, I consulted ChatGPT to develop the perfect strategy for staying awake. I was now 23 hours into the stream at 460 kills. Currently, all I have is 1 set of tassets, a pair of boots and a hilt. I'm way below drop rate. If I was on drop rate, I would have at least 2 more items right now. Moreover, I haven't even had the most lucrative drop, the chest plate. I had 2 items which are a 1 in 5,000 drop chance, but going very dry on the items I actually need to build my bank up. But it was time for the final trip. Okay, so YouTube only saves 12 hours of a live stream. I knew this, but the issue is I thought it was the 12 last hours of the stream, but it's actually the 12 first hours. Now I only have 1 hour left, so not much should happen in that time, but actually a lot did happen. Not only did I get a second pair of tassets, 4 kills after those pants, I also got my first chest plate drop. This was insanely lucky, and I basically doubled my profits in that last hour, but none of it got saved, so all we have now is the loot tab. In the loot tab we have 102 mil from Gardor and 2.4 from the minions. Of course I couldn't pick all of this rune stuff up, so once everything was sold I had a total of 94 million in my inventory. If we account for all the runes, potions, solar scales, etc., the supplies cost me around 10 mil. This puts us at 84 mil profit. I had 485 Gardor kills in total from this grind, putting me at basically exactly 20 kills per hour. The wiki has each Gardor kill listed at 210k, and 210k times 485 is 102 million, which is what's on my kill tab. And my GP per hour came out to a total of 3.5 mil, which is also exactly what the wiki is listed. So what was the point of this video again? Couldn't we just have checked the wiki and not wasted 24 hours? Oh yeah, right, the next wishlist. After this grind, my new bank value is at 381 mil. This puts us perfectly at the first item on our wishlist, the Sarite crossbow.